Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. It is so great to see you all here. My name is Nikki Cole, and I'm the English Language Program Manager at UOW College. I'm really excited about your English lesson today. We're going to be talking about Australian culture and some of the cultural differences between Australia and Japan. This is our second English lesson that we have run in partnership with Austrade. So welcome back to those of you that were here with us last time. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, welcome. It's so wonderful to see you all, and we're so pleased that you can join us. As we go through today's lesson, can you please any questions that you might have, could you please ask them in the chat bar? So you can see the chat function at the bottom of your screen, the little box that says chat, and maybe it has a number with messages in it. Okay, so any questions that you have, put into the chat, and our teacher Caroline is waiting to answer your questions. She might have some questions for you during the lesson as well. Can you please make sure that you turn your cameras off? Okay, so cameras off. So down the bottom, there's a little box that says stop video. So could you please press stop video? And also put your microphones on mute. So turn your cameras and your videos off. To experience our English lesson, Caroline, in the best possible way, so you can see our teachers clearly, Caroline has put some instructions in the chat box just to explain how to do that. And that will make sure that you can see our teachers clearly on the screen. So I think that all around the world, 2020 has been a very challenging time for many people in many places. In a lot of cases, we've had to think about different ways of doing regular things. For example, catching up with family and friends, or maybe visiting public places. At UOW College, we've found lots of interesting ways to do our English classes a little bit differently. And I'm going to show you some pictures of what we've been doing. So, some of you might remember our fabulous lesson on Australian slang earlier this year. We had nearly 300 people join us live for this lesson. We've also done some online cooking classes where students learnt to make Australian biscuits with two of our fabulous teachers. We have also taken students virtually to one of our local zoos, and we introduced them to some friendly koalas and friendly kangaroos. And they were able to ask our zookeeper some questions about looking after these animals. We've also hosted virtual conversation classes where students from Japan and around the world have been able to chat to local and international students from many other places in a really fun and engaging way. We are getting lots of requests from students and from groups of students to join in these classes and these fun activities. And we're going to have some more information for you about this at the end of today's lesson. But first, I'm really excited to introduce you to the General Manager of UOW College, Mr. Felix Lansley. We are very lucky that Felix is available to join us today, and he is really looking forward to saying hello to you all. Are you there, Felix?
Thank you, Nikki. Yes, I am here. Hello, everybody. Fantastic to see you all here today. And thank you, Nikki, for those nice photos to show some of the interesting ways that we have been dealing with the situation that is here with us around the world at the moment. Great to see you all. a huge welcome I'd like to say to you from Wollongong, from all of us here in Wollongong. So my name's Felix and I am the General Manager of UOW College, Australia. So for many, many years, me and Nikki and a lot of the teachers here have been looking after students from Japan, coming from different universities and schools over to Wollongong and have been learning English with us and seeing some of the different parts of the beautiful place that we live in around Wollongong, because it is an absolutely stunning place. It's beautiful. But we've been a bit sad this year, unfortunately, as many people have been, and disappointed because we have not been able to welcome many people from different countries around the world, including Japan. We did have some visitors at the beginning of the year, but unfortunately, of course, we have not been able to. So what can we do? Well, we think, and we came up with something, Nikki and her team, of running some virtual lessons and some virtual study tours online to make sure that we still have that connection with you, with our students, because that's why we do what we do. Now today, you're going to, as Nikki said, you're going to be doing a little bit about cultural differences. So the way that we live and that we think and we do things in Australia and Japan, which of course is quite interesting. It's very interesting actually, and quite different in some ways. I lived in Japan for a while and I worked for Japanese companies for many years. And one thing I always found interesting was when I worked there was leaving work with staff saying to me, "Otsukare-sama desu," or "Osaki ni shitsurei shimasu," which was quite strange. And I was asking my co-workers, what does that mean? And, does it mean that, I'm sorry that I'm being rude to leave work before you, or thank you for tiring yourself out for your company and things like that. Quite different, because here in Australia, we just say, see you tomorrow. And we don't have that pressure to stay at work until our boss leaves or anything like that. Although I think things are changing in Japan in that way as well now. Anyway, look, you'll learn, I'm sure, some interesting things today. I hope you enjoy your lesson. Hope to see you in Wollongong one day and show you the beautiful space that we have around here and the beautiful nature. Anyway, I'm going to sign off there. Back to you, Nikki-san. Time to start the learning journey.
Thanks so much, Felix. It's great to hear some of his thoughts on the differences between Australia and Japan in the workplace. I'm now really excited to introduce you to your English teachers for today. They are somewhere here in Wollongong, maybe near the lighthouse, maybe near our swimming pool. Let's see if we can find them. So some of you might remember Jared from our previous lesson. Is he at Mount Kira? No. Where are they? Mount Kira. So today, Jared, who taught our last lesson, not at the beach. Today, Jared is joined by Erica. We're looking for them, maybe in our botanic gardens. No, not there. I know where they will be. They'll be at the University of Wollongong. Are you there, Jared? Are you there, Erica? Jared, Erica, where are you?
Hello.
Hello, Erica. Hi, Erica.
Hi.
It's Jared.
Hi, I'm here, but I need to have someone turn my video on, please, Nikki. I was turned off.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here I am.
Hey, Jared. Okay, over to you guys.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jared, and if you remember in our first lesson, I was touring around Australia, learning about some famous places, the wonderful animals, and the Australian slang. We had so much fun last time, and today's lesson is going to be interactive and fun again, learning about some cultural differences between Australia and Japan. So during this lesson, make sure you have your mobile phone so we can do some activities with you during the lesson. So today we'll look at what's life really like in Australia. How do people travel? What are the supermarkets like? What do Australians eat? And how do they greet each other? and how that compares to Japanese culture. So today with us, we have Erica. Hello, Erica.
Hello, everyone. My name's Erica. I lived for 3 years in Japan. I love Japan. It's such a beautiful country. 皆さん、はじめまして。どうぞよろしく。私は島根県に3年間小さい村に住んでいましたから、日本語も話すことができますよ。
Hello, everyone, and hello, Eric. How are you?
I'm well. So, how you going, mate?
I'm going really well, thanks. If you remember, in our first lesson, we learned how you going, mate, which means how are you, friend? A common phrase here in Australia. So let's try it together. How you going, mate?
How you going, mate?
Very good, everyone. I hope you could say that. So, Erica, what are some of the differences you found between Australian and Japanese culture?
Well, there are so many differences, but before we start, I would like to ask all of you, what do you think are the biggest differences between Australia and Japan? To do this, you will need your phone or your computer. Let's make a word cloud. Go to the internet, go to menti.com and use the code 8393078.
Okay, so you're writing, what do you think are the differences in culture between Australia and Japan? So far, we have clothing, very interesting, and food, great. Transport, language, school, yes, very true. Manners, greetings. Oh, you have lots of ideas. Yes, animals as well. Music, going home after work, personalities. Yes, there are so many differences. Look at that. Almost done. 3 seconds to put in your words. And that's finished. Very good, everybody. Shops, nature, excellent. As I've been traveling around Australia, the first one we'll talk about is I've noticed how big Australia is. It's really big.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's actually one of the biggest differences between Australia and Japan. Australia is actually 20 times bigger than Japan.
That's right, 20 times bigger. Have a look at the map behind me. Here is Australian, and inside we have Japan, and some of Korea, and some of Mongolia and China. It's a very large country and spacious.
I can see that the population of Japan is 6 times bigger than the population of Australia.
Wow, that means Australia is really spacious and not crowded. So while I was traveling, I saw another or a few other big things in this big country, like the big banana.
Wow.
And the big ram. Look at the size of the car compared to the ram.
Wow.
There was also the tall guitar. And look at this, the giant lobster. So since Australia is so spacious, this is probably why Australians live in houses. And their houses usually have a backyard for pets and other things. Maybe you remember in my first video, first lesson, about the outback. and that I found a lizard there called a central bearded dragon. Would you like to see her again?
I'd love to.
Let me just get her, okay?
Oh, how cool.
Look at
Wow.
this, everybody.
Oh,
Her name is Zilla, if you remember. And she lives in the outback, which means the desert, like what's behind me here. And she's very friendly. She eats vegetables and insects and is happy to be a pet. How about you, Erica? Do you have any pets?
yes. Yes, I actually have 2 pet birds. But in my garden, this is my garden here. I have large trees and we have a lot of wild birds. And I have a creek as well. And Australians, yeah, these are my birds here, my budgies. They live in a cage. Australians have big gardens. I've got a big garden.
Yeah, I've noticed that Australia has a lot of beautiful parks and walking tracks because that's very important to the culture here. I take my dogs on walks near my house, and I've noticed that people greet each other in different ways here. Are greetings different in Japan?
Yes, they are. Yes, so people in Australia might say hello, smile, shake hands, wave, hug, or even kiss cheeks as a greeting. Whereas in Japan, they tend to bow.
Yeah, I have noticed when Australians greet each other formally that they shake hands.
Yes, that's right. So it's common to shake the hands of someone you're meeting for the first time. Nice to meet you, everyone. Let's shake hands.
And also you said something about Australians kiss on the cheeks.
Yes, yes. In Australia, some people kiss each other's cheeks, but usually it's just girlfriends or family members. You can kiss hello and kiss goodbye, or both.
And what about hugs for a greeting? Who does that?
Well, it's quite popular to hug friends or family as a greeting, especially in informal situations. But strangers and work colleagues don't usually hug.
I see. And now with coronavirus, we're not encouraged to shake hands or kiss cheeks or hug. So we have some different greetings now, like fist bump and elbow bump.
Yes. Yeah, so simple now. Anyway, so what do you know about greetings? Let's do another Menti quiz. Get your mobile phones out, type in menti.com, use the code 2093825 and try to answer the questions. What do you do when you meet someone for the first time? Do you give a kiss, shake hands, or give them a hug? Voting's closing soon. 45 seconds left. Shake hands. Oh, nobody's giving a kiss first. Everyone's saying shake hands. 33 seconds to go. Oh, there is one hug. Anyway, it's good to see most of you could get on Menti. It's a great teaching tool. Okay, voting's closed, and yes, indeed, you do shake hands when you meet someone for the first time.
Very good.
Okay, there is another one too. So, who do you hug? Do you hug people you don't know? Do you hug huge people? Or do you hug friends and family? What do you think? People seem to be hugging friends and family. 6 seconds. Okay, absolutely. You hug friends and family. Not everyone does, but you don't, well, huge people are fun to hug, and it's not so good to hug people you don't know. But well done, everyone.
Very good. So what else is different, Erica?
Well, actually, Aboriginal culture is different, and it is different to Japanese culture. So, have you experienced some Aboriginal culture while you've been traveling?
Oh, actually, I have. I was fortunate while visiting here in Uluru. If you remember in our last lesson, I was camping here. I met some local people and they taught me some interesting things.
What did they teach you?
Well, they taught me how to make some sounds on my didgeridoo. If you remember from the first lesson, this is a didgeridoo, which is a tree that you can play music through. And if you remember, I am a muso, which means musician. Muso is Australian slang. So they taught me how to make kangaroo sound and a kookaburra sound. Would you like to hear?
I'd love to.
So here's the kangaroo sound. Sounds like hopping. Did you hear the jumping? And then there's a kookaburra.
Oh, wow,
sound.
that's
This is a
so
bird.
cool.
Listen to this bird.
Wow, that was fantastic. Did you know that Aboriginal culture is the oldest living culture on Earth?
Wow, really? Is that why Australia has 2 flags?
Yes, that's why. One of the reasons. Yeah, Australia has 2 flags, the Aboriginal flag and the Australian flag with the Union Jack.
And I've also noticed many people from other cultures living in Australia too.
That's right. Yes, Australia is different from Japan in this way. We call it multicultural. So we have Aboriginal culture and immigrant culture. Nearly half, 49% of Australians have either been born overseas or one or both parents have been born overseas.
Wow.
For example, my mother is from Finland and I was born in Australia.
Yeah, and I live in Australia, but I was born in the United States. So it's multicultural, like the United States as well. But Japan is more one culture, is that right?
Yes, that's right. So what else have you found different, Jared?
Well, I've discovered that if you're going to travel long distances in Australia, it can be difficult if you don't have a car or a motorcycle, for example. So I was in the outback traveling by motorcycle across Australia because Australia is so big. There were no trains I could take to the middle, and there were no buses either.
Wow. Okay, that's not surprising. Out in the outback, many towns don't even have trains, and buses might only go once a day.
Yeah, and if you look at this map, here was my journey across Australia. So here's Uluru, and I went down here and all the way to the university, and this took 31 hours of driving. And that's
Wow.
halfway. So I noticed Australia is like America in a way that many people have their own cars.
Yes, you're right, Jared. As Australia is so big, most Australians own a car. And Australians actually have the second highest car ownership in the world.
Wow, I didn't know that. And now that I'm here in the city, I can use public transport. But that's a bit different than Japan too, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, in Japan, everyone is so polite and people don't talk on their phones on the train so much. And everyone is very respectful of each other. Shitsurei itashimasu. Sumimasen.
Yeah, that's quite different from Australia. When I got on the train here, I noticed people talking loudly on their mobile phones or listening to music or eating food or talking to others.
Yes, public transport behaviour is a bit different to Japan. Also in Japan, people wear masks when they're sick. But in Australia, we don't generally wear masks when we're sick. But now with coronavirus, medical masks are recommended for public transport. We are learning to wear masks. Jared, did you notice that almost no one queues here like they do in Japan? They all just pile onto the trains.
Yeah, that's a good point. Queue, that's a good word. Queue means to stand in a line. And when I was waiting for the train, there was no queue. But I think I had to wait a little bit because the train was late.
Yes, in Australia, the trains and the buses are sometimes a little bit late. But in Japan, the trains and buses always run on time.
That's so convenient.
So did you get an Opal card?
Yes, I did. Here's my Opal card.
So like Japan, in New South Wales, we have a card system for using trains. It's called Opal card.
So how much does it cost to take the bus or the train for one trip?
Well, it costs between 3 and 5 Australian dollars to ride a bus or a train for one trip. But in Wollongong, we actually have a free bus system.
Wow, a free bus. That's great for students. And that reminds me of another difference between Australia and Japan, which is the money.
Yes, the money is very different. In Australia, the notes are made of plastic.
That's right. They are made of plastic, which means that you can't tear them. And you can even put them in water.
That's
Watch
right.
this. Here's a $50 note and a $10 note. This is water, everybody. Look at this. 20. This means you can accidentally leave your money in your pocket or leave it if you do laundry or go to the beach and swim. There they are.
Yes, so all the notes commemorate famous Australians. For example, the $10 note has 2 poets, Banjo Paterson on one side and Mary Gilmore on the other.
Ah, so those are poets.
Yes.
So you mean writers.
Yes.
Very interesting. And what about the coins?
Well, 5 of the 6 coins have an animal picture.
Yeah, I see the animals there.
That's right. Yeah, so for example, the 50-cent piece has a kangaroo and an emu. Why? Because the kangaroo and emu cannot jump or walk backwards. This represents Australia as a country always going forward, not backwards. Going forward means always getting better.
Okay, so kangaroos and emus can only go forwards. That's
Yes.
interesting.
Yes,
I also see kangaroos on the $1 coin.
that's right.
And how about the 20-cent coin? What's that?
Oh, that one, that's actually a platypus. Yes, it's a unique Australian mammal that has a duck-like bill, webbed feet, and it even lays eggs.
Wow, that's very unique.
Yes.
And what about the 10-cent coin?
Well, that's actually a lyrebird. It's the bird that has beautiful feathers and the males do a dance.
How lovely. And what about the small 5-cent piece?
Ah, that one, that's an echidna. Okay, it's got sharp claws and spines.
Okay, and the last coin I see there has an Aboriginal man on it with a beard, kind of like me. And the interesting thing about this coin is it has the highest value, but is the smallest coin. So here's the $2 coin, and here's the 50-cent coin. What a big difference. So, shall we go do some shopping with the money?
Wow, sounds like a great idea.
Well, let me take this money out of the water. Look at this. Comes right out. No problem. We can go spend our money.
Good
So,
idea.
why don't you guys join me? I'm gonna go to a supermarket. I'll show you some video and photos I took at a supermarket. And while we do that, notice the foods, notice the prices, and maybe what is different between Australian supermarkets and Japanese supermarkets. Afterwards, we'll give you a little quiz on what you remember.
Great.
All right, so here you can see that there are plenty of fruits and vegetables to choose from in the supermarket. Do you know what that is there? That's sweet potato. And it looks to be around $4.90 a kilo. Then there are lots of other veggies like a bag of carrots for $2 a kilo. And this is capsicum. But in United States, it's called a pepper. Some of the words in Australia and United States are even different for food. Then we have some lettuce and tomatoes. When you go to the supermarket, you'll find that it's organized by aisle number. This one has international foods because Australia is multicultural. And the first one here is Mexican food. So you may find bags of chips, tortillas, and jars of salsa. Further down that aisle, there's Asian food. So this would include Japanese food, Korean food, Chinese food, and even a box of wasabi. Look at that. And the last one here is Indian food. So you would find a jar of curry because that is popular. There's even sushi paper, so you can roll your own sushi. Or you can even have, well, of course, there's rice. Rice is around $2 a kilo in Australia. And you can even buy your own sushi at the supermarket for about $12. Australians love their bread. So bread is about $4 a loaf. And breakfast cereals. Look at the colors and choices. Now, Australians also eat kangaroo meat. You can find this at the supermarket. There's other kinds of meat, of course, too, like chicken and turkey, as well as the most popular beef and lamb, which are about $13 a kilo. Now, Australians also really love dairy, which means there's lots of cheese, yogurt, ice cream, and it comes in many different shapes and sizes. So here we have a basket of cheese you saw, balls of cheese, even cheese from other countries like Greek cheese. Here is cheese in a bag or in a square, a brick of cheese. There's even cheese slices all ready for your sandwich. And cheese in a cube. Australians also love to have chips, or in America, they call French fries. It's $2 a bag. And look at the size of this ice cream. It's 4 liters of ice cream for $5. And the eggs here are sold in a dozen. So I hope that was interesting and you saw some great things in the supermarket. So let's look at some of the things we saw. I'll share my screen with you and you can put a stamp using Zoom on what you enjoyed the most. So if you go to the top of your screen, there is an option arrow and you can go down and choose to stamp. And you can put hearts on what you thought was most interesting about the supermarkets in Australia. Wow, look at all the love for ice cream. A little bit for cheese. We have veggies here. Veggies is how Australians say vegetable. The international food. Ah, the meat was very interesting. I agree. Oh, the sushi is very popular. All right, so if we go to the supermarket, we're gonna get sushi and ice cream and cheese. What an interesting meal. Thanks, you guys. That's great.
So, okay, hang on. Let's start my video. So, Jared, what did you buy at the supermarket?
Well, I bought an Australian classic called a meat pie.
Wow. That's it.
This is a pastry, and on the inside is hot vegetables or meat, like chicken or beef or lamb. Would you like to see me eat it?
I'd love to.
I'm gonna try it. So what you need is some Australian tomato sauce, and you put the tomato sauce on the top of the meat pie like this.
Great.
And you don't need a fork or knife, just dig in and bite.
Yummo.
Mmm.
How is
It's
it?
crunchy and warm and salty. Really good and cheap. So great for students.
Fantastic. Okay, so how much did you learn in today's lesson? Let's do a Kahoot. It's a different kind of quiz. So go to your phone, go to your computer, type in kahoot.it or go to the app if you have it, and then type in the PIN number 37849881 and type in your name. And we can play a fun, competitive, educational game. Great. Actually, it's so cool to see your names.
Ah, great. Good to meet all of you guys.
Yeah, I would love to meet you actually. Online or in person. Actually, I can't wait to see your faces. That's so fun. We've got so many people. Excellent.
All right, yeah, we have Momo and Misato
Misato.
and Mio and Yoshiaki,
Yoshiaki,
Rino.
Yuki. Hajimemashite, dozo yoroshiku.
Is someone named Koala?
That's fun.
That's a great name.
Little koala wasn't on one of the coins. There is a $200 coin, I think, with a koala on it, though. Okay, let's begin soon. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's begin. So, this differences quiz. Question 1. How can you get to Sydney from Uluru? Do you go by boat, motorbike, tram, or train? What do you think? Wow, that's so cool. Fantastic. Motorbike, well done. You've been listening well. You can't go by boat. It's in the middle of the desert. Okay, Wakana, great stuff. So, how much bigger is Australia compared to Japan? Is it 10 times bigger, 4 times bigger, 20 times bigger, or twice as big, 2 times bigger?
It was pretty big. Let's see what people say. Yes.
Fantastic. You were listening. Well done. 20 times bigger. Oh, Andoru is leading. Fantastic. Australians always wear masks when they are sick. True or false? What do you think? What's our mask wearing culture? Yes, that's right. Yes, we don't always wear masks when we're sick. We don't wear masks, but we are learning with COVID. May is in the lead now. Great stuff, May. Okay, what instrument did Jared play? Was it a didgeridoo, a boomerang, an electric guitar, or was it kangaroo sounds? Wow, great stuff. It was a didgeridoo, and that's an Aboriginal word. And he did make kangaroo sounds, but the instrument is the didgeridoo.
That's right.
Whoa, May is in the lead. Great stuff. Surging ahead. True or false? Almost half of all Australians were born overseas or have a parent born overseas. True or false? Yes, it's true. We are a multicultural nation. May's doing very well, but still anyone could win. Keep going, guys. Last question. Which animal is not on Australian money? Is it the emu, kangaroo, wombat, or echidna? Great, it was the wombat. The poor little wombat didn't feature. The echidna is actually on the 5-cent piece. Okay, great. In third place, Shiori. Great. And Andrew, second place. Number 1 is...
Yay!
Done, May. Fantastic job.
Very
Runners
good.
up, Mino and Yuki. Great. Anyway, good playing, everyone. It shows that you have been listening and watching well. Good.
So thank you so much for joining us again today to learn about some differences between Australia and Japan. Erica, thank you so much for teaching us and explaining that.
Well, it was so fun to teach everyone. And thank you, everyone. You've been great students. I hope to see you again online or even in Wollongong one day.
Definitely. We hope to see you again soon.
So now Nikki has some important information to share with you. So please keep watching and listening.
Thank you so much, Erica and Jared. We have all learnt so much about some of the cultural differences between Japan and Australia. And we've had quite a lot of fun as well today. So thank you so much for teaching us today. I would like you to meet someone else. It's Marion. Hi, Marion. Hi, Marion.
Hi, Nikki. Hi,
Organises our
everyone.
study tour programs here at UOW College, and she would like to tell you about some of our great new programs.
All right. Thank you, Nikki. And hi, everyone. I'm so glad so many of you have been able to join us today. As you can see from today's lesson, we have been very busy designing special classes and programs to make the online learning experience fun and interactive. We want to make sure our students have the opportunity to still experience and learn about Australian culture when they're learning their English with us. We've designed 2 programs that fit in with your university holidays next year. So let's have a look at our first program. Our first program is a 4-week fun virtual study tour. This program will take you out of the classroom. We will virtually visit an Aussie zoo. We'll do an Aussie cooking class. We'll go on a campus tour and meet local university students. These are really fun and supportive classes that cater to all English levels. This program will be the perfect way to experience Australia without having to leave your home. Our second program is called Project Unite. This is a rewarding program combining English classes in the morning and project work in the afternoon. This program is designed for students who have upper to intermediate level of English and are looking for a really fun and exciting challenge. We can also design personalised study tours just for you. We'll be sending you more details about all of these programs and more shortly, and you can always feel free to email me with any questions that you might have. But for now, I actually just want to say a huge thank you. I want to say a huge thank you to all of our staff that have made today possible. So could the teachers, Nikki, Caroline and Andrew who've been behind the scenes, could you turn your screens on so everybody can see? We've got a wonderful community here at UOW College. And I also want to say an extra big thank you to you for dialing in and joining us today. So could everybody turn on your screens? We would love to see your faces. Who's there? Turn on your screens. Here we go. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. And we do hope to see you online on our program soon, and come and visit us in beautiful Wollongong. I think there's a few more still joining us. You might all give a big wave goodbye. There are more joining us. Thank you all. See you all soon. Bye.